Hi students, in the last session we discussed about plant location and what are the factors that determines the plant location. Now we are discussing about plant layout and different kinds of plant layouts. So after selection of the business site, the factory is to be constructed on particular site. Okay, so after construction of the building, we have to organize different kinds of departments in the factory building, right? So we have to organize the process in the building. So here the problem of designing different departments in the plant arises when the factory building is constructed. But we have to consider the departments which is to be organized in the business previously, which means when the construction of plan is taking place. Because by focusing on the departmental structure, we have to construct the plant or the factory building in the organization. Here there are two types of layouts. The first one is factory layout and second one is plant layout. Of course, it is looking to be very closer, but there is a small difference. What is that? First one, factory layout. So, factory layout comprises all the activities which is related to the plant. Okay, so all the activities which takes place, all the activities which takes place in the factory will comes under factory layout. Okay, what kind of activities that takes place in the factory are office areas and plant areas. Office areas and plant areas. Office areas consist administrative departments or administration of different factors. Administrative aspects are comes under office areas. Whereas plant areas consist of two kinds of activities, that are production department and service departments. So, in the production department, the production activities will take place, and service departments, this can be classified into two types. Okay, what are they? First one is technical services, and second one is personal services. So, here technical services means receiving the raw materials, storing, stocking and material equipment maintenance. All these tools comes under technical services, which means we are receiving raw materials from the suppliers. So we have to store that raw materials in storeroom. Okay, then those materials are transformed through the different process and a finished product will come out. That finished product is to be kept in stock room. So that is stock room. Okay, and next one, material equipments. We have to move the material by using some conveyors. So all these elements comes under technical services. And coming to the personal services, which relates to the parking area, timekeeper's office, lunch, toilets, all these comes under personal services. Okay, so all these activities comes under plant area. So the scope of the factory layout is wider, which covers all those activities. Coming to the plant layout, it covers the activities which related to the plant areas only, which means the production department, service departments, which can be categorized into two types, technical services and personal services are under the plant layout. Based on this explanation, we can define the plant layout like this. According to Moore, plant layout is the plan of or the act of planning. Plant layout is a plan or it is an act of planning and optimum arrangement of facilities. What we are doing in the plant layout, we are arranging the facilities at optimum way. Arrangement of facilities including employees. So already I told you in the introduction that business organization is to be organized. Where have to do particular task is to be decided firstly. So we have to decide that where the employees is to be operated. Next one, operating equipments. What are the different operating equipments that are used in the production process? And storage space, where we have to store. If it is raw material, we have to store it in storage house. If it is a finished product, we have to store it in stock room. Okay, storage space and material handling equipments. Okay, we have to carry the raw materials from storage home to one mission, then there to another mission. By doing so, we are using some of the equipment, those are called as material handling equipments, and all other supporting services. Not only this, supporting services which supports all these activities along with the design of best structure to contain these facilities. We have to design the best structure by combining all these activities, which is called as plant layout. You have to note down this definition. Okay, plant layout is a plan of or the act of planning and optimum arrangement of facilities including employees, operating equipments, storage space and material handling equipments and all other supporting services along with the design of best structure which contains these facilities. Okay, and next one I am going to discuss what is the need to have a plant layout. Why the organization decides the plant layout? There are several situations we have to decide a plant layout. In the first situation is when we are starting new business or the new plant. Then we have to decide the plant layout, the first thing. And next one, when we change in the product design. Okay, already I told you that different production process will take place in the production. Okay, we are using different kinds of production systems. If it is a continuous production system, the raw material passes through different stages. Right? If the product design is changed, which means here design. Change in design of the product. If the product design is changed, then we have to change some of the machinery and some of the equipment in the production process. That's why we have to change the plant layout. Then there is a need exists to decide a good plant layout. Okay, next one, new innovations. Organizations have to accept new innovations in the market. Okay, they have to adopt the innovations. In innovating, if the cost is reduced, which means the production cost is reducing, that techniques is adopted by the organization. Then the layout may also changes. Then we have to redesign another layout. And imparting new mission. If we are introducing new mission to the production process, then we need a plant layout redesign. Okay, these are the different factors and expansion also. If we are expanding our business organization to some extent, then we need plant layout decisions. In this particular area, the plant layout decision is to organizations. Okay, so plant layout decision is very crucial for the business organization. As already I told you, it leads to huge amount of investment in the organization. Okay, once the plant layout decision is taken, which cannot be easily changes often. Okay, if the decision is changed, it leads to huge loss for the business person. Okay, so these are the reasons why the plant layout design is changes in the organization. Now I am going to discuss with you the principles of the plant layout, good plant layout. You have to write down all these in your notes and you have to follow the classes regularly. Okay, so next topic is principles of good plant layout. It's very easy topic. So the first one is the overall integration of the factors. First one. So first principle is the overall integration of the factors. As we know, production includes conversion of inputs into outputs. So there are several factors are to be integrated with each other, and these factors movement in the machine is to be minimized. Minimum movement is required in the organization. And next one, it is a unilateral process. It is a unilateral or unidirectional process. Unidirectional process, which means in the good plant layout is prepared in such a way that which the raw materials flow is taken in one direction, which means the forward movement from mission 1 to mission 3, 4, this like this. It has to move forward direction without backtracking. So only one direction is there, that is forward direction. Backtracking is avoided. This is another principle. And next one is effective use of the area. Effective use of the available space. Effective use of the available space. It is one of the principles which we need to focus, because we have to use the plant location or the factory layout completely. If we remain something is idle, which leads to underutilization of the plant. Okay, so we have to use the available space, either it is a cubic or not, available space in effective manner. Okay, by using, there are different kinds of layout arrangements are there. The first one is straight line arrangement. Straight line arrangement. Okay, it's just like this. Operation 1, 2, 2, operation 2 to 3, and operation 3 to 4, and 4 to 5, and 5 to 6. So here what happens, the production process is following the sequential order. 1, 2, 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, which is called as straight line arrangement of layout. Okay, and there is another type of arrangement is there, that is U-shaped arrangement. U-shaped arrangement. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Starting point, ending point, starting point and ending point. The structure is U-shaped. Here no backtracking is possible. Only forward movement of raw materials will happen. All these structures. And third structure is circular arrangement. Circular arrangement. Here 1, 2, 3, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Starting point, ending point. It's just like circle. Okay, and next one is zigzag arrangement. Zigzag arrangement. Here from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here the flow of material is in the form of zigzag. That is 1, 2, 2 and 3. If we observe all these structures, the material flow is unilateral, which means unidirectional. Only forward movement is there, no backtracking. Okay, so the effective layout is to be designed in a way that is raw materials will flow continuously in the organization. Okay, this is effective use of the available space by using these kind of arrangement facilities. Depending upon the space, we can adopt straight line arrangement or U-shaped or circular arrangement or zigzag arrangement for our plant layout. Okay, and next one is minimum movements. Minimum movements. The movements between these operations, for example, between these two and between these two is to be minimized. Then only we will end the productivity or optimum output for the organization. So there is a department which always focus on the minimize the movement between the operations. Okay, next one, you have to draw this in your book. I am erasing this. Fifth one is maximum visibility. Maximum visibility. As plant layout comprises of human resource, different types of equipment, storage rooms, all these are designed in a proper way, right? So, all the missions and equipment and human force or man, mission and material are to be visible, are to be observable. We have to design plant layout by using these techniques. The visibility of the man, material, machinery is very important. Sixth one, safety. While designing the plant layout, we have to consider the safety of the employees or the systems that are in the production process. Okay, so if there is any possibility of prevailing accidents, we have to eliminate that things and we have to provide certain precautionary activities. Maximum flexibility. If the business organization wants to expand its activities or wants to expand the plant location, then it has to provide that flexibility to expand the business organization, which means flexibility is important in the plant layout. We have to add some other factors to the existing factors. Okay, and next one is material material management. Minimum material management. So already I told you in the first session, material management is nothing but planning and controlling and maintaining the materials, which means raw materials that are required for the organization. So minimum maintenance of material is to be required for the organization, which means we order raw materials and we kept in this storage code, but we are not producing anything, which means we are not utilizing the production capacity at the level which we want. Okay, for this we have to minimize the material management. For example, some raw materials are purchased by the organization, but they are not producing. They are idly sitting in the storeroom, which is not useful for the organization, right? So minimum material handling. Sorry, it's not management. Minimum material handling is required. So these are the principles which kept in mind before designing the plant layout. The first one is the overall integration of the factors. All the factors should be considered while designing the plant layout. Next one, unidirectional process. So designing a plant is you have to consider a unidirectional process, which means only forward movement is there, no backtracking. Next one, effective use of available space. The space that are in the plant layout is to be utilized effectively. Depending upon the situations, we have to use a straight line arrangement, we have to use a U-shaped arrangement, zigzag arrangement or circular arrangement, and minimum movement is required, and maximum visibility. The man-material machinery is to be observable by the different managers. Okay, and safety. It has to provide safety for the employees who is working under the production process, and maximum flexibility. It is flexible to change. If we are adapting new technology, we have to change the production plant layout. So by way of doing, we have to mention the flexibility in the plant layout. And minimum material handling. Material handling should be minimized in the organization to get the optimum output. So these are the principles of good plant layout. Now we are discussing what are the factors that determines the plant layout. Factors determining plant layout. Okay, the first one is types of production. Second one is type of production process. Next one is scale of production and machinery. Okay, and available space. Flexibility for future expansion. Okay, and facilities in building. These are the factors we need to consider while we are designing a plant layout. Okay, first one is types of production. We are producing goods or providing services. Depending upon the types of production, the plant layout is to be taken by the organization. For example, the plant layout design is different from an engineering firm to food processing firm. A manufacturing organization or an engineering business organization is engaged in big infrastructure facilities, plant. All this is to be involved in manufacturing organization, whereas it is not necessary for the food processing organizations, right? So, depending upon the types of production, the plant layout is to be decided. Next one, type of production process. Different kinds of production process are there. Continuous production process and intermittent production process. As we know that in the continuous production process, the material flow is continuous, which means they follow the straight line and at the end of the line, the manufactured product is produced by the organization. Whereas in intermittent production system, the material flow is intermittent, which means it is not continuous. So, the job shop production or the batch production will come under intermittent production system. If the organization is following continuous production system, it has to adopt another type of the plant layout when compared with the firm which following intermittent production system. Okay, and next one, scale of production, which is nothing but production activities. If the organization is producing large scale production, then it needs different kind of layout when compared with the organization which produces small scale production. Okay, depending upon the production scale, the plant layout will changes in the organization. And next one, machinery. Here the requirement of the machinery. Machinery or the equipment can be classified in two types: single purpose, multi-purpose. Single purpose equipment and multi-purpose equipment. In single purpose equipment, by using that material, we use it to produce one type of product only. Whereas the multi-purpose equipment is used to produce different kind of products. In the continuous production system, we use single purpose machinery, whereas in the job shop production system, we use multi-purpose equipment. Depending upon this equipment, the production layout also changes in the organization. Okay, and next one, availability of space. The availability of space is very important because factory building consists of factory layout, but plant layout is that part which consists production and service departments relating to the plant, right? So the availability of this space will design if we have to follow product layout, process layout, combined layout. So it may differentiate. So availability of space is one of the important factors to design the plant layout for the organization. And next one is flexibility for future expansion. If the organization wants to expand their activities or the production operations, it has some space to do so. Which means, if the future expansion facilities are there, then the plant layout is to be decided to add some additional facilities to that layout. Okay, so flexibility for future expansion is also differentiate. Some organization wants to expand their activities and some organization may confine their activities to some extent. So depending upon these two organizations, the plant layouts also differs. And facilities in building. Here, if the building is spacious or if the building is used for a single business operations, the plant layout is different. If the building is used for multi-purpose, which means different kinds of production activities, then the layout is different. So, facilities in building will also influence the decision of plant layout. So, once again, factors that determines the plant layout or types of production, either manufacturing or service. Either manufacturing, engineering organization is different from food processing organization. Next one, type of production process. If we are following continuous production process or an intermittent production process. Next one, scale of production, large scale or small scale of the business operations. Machinery, if we are using single purpose equipment or we are using a multi-purpose equipment, will also decide the plant layout and availability of the space in the buildings and the facilities in building. These are the factors we need to consider while we design the plant layout for the organization.
And the next topic is different kinds of plant layouts. The plant layouts are categorized into plant layouts. First one, product layout. Product layout. And second one, process layout. And third one, mixed or combined layout. And next one, static or fixed layout. And cellular layout. And next one is job shop layout. So the plant layout is categorized into 6 types. First one, product layout. So if the product layout is also called as product line layout, in which the materials are the missions are arranged as per the sequence of operations which are required by the particular product. That's why we call it as a product line layout. It is suitable for those organizations which follows continuous flow of production. As all of us know, the raw materials flow is continuously in the continuous flow operations. Okay, so the product layout design may be in the straight line and it may not be follow the straight line process. It is not compulsory that we have to maintain product layout in the straight line basis. Okay, so the structure of the product layout can be observed like this. For example, here customer and raw materials are there. Okay, here what happens is, it is the beginning of the process. Beginning of the process. Here, station 1. Next, station 2. And next, station 3. Up to station N, which gives the finished products. It is one of the example for product layout, which is also known as product line layout. Here what happens is, the process starts with either customers or with some raw materials. This process will continuously flow. I take it as a straight line process. That's why the arrows are in a straight line. Okay, so here what happens, and each and every station either we require labor or raw materials. Each and every process requires labor or raw materials. Labor or raw materials. Okay, this is one of the example for product layout. And next one is process layout. In this layout, it is also known as functional layout for the organization. So in this, the similar activities are grouped into one area, one particular segment. For example, the machineries which doing the similar activities are grouped into one roof is called as process layout. Okay, the example for the process layout is, assembling assembling machines, lathe machines, and cutting machines. All these are under a single process. Okay, in the process layout, the activities are just like job shop order activities. The process layout is flexible for job shop process, in which each operation may consider as a separate or unique operation, which may requires a separate section of activities to perform. So, it is need not to follow the same sequence for the every operation. The operation requires special set of activities to complete the process. Okay, the example for process layout is assembling. You have to write down this definition. Drilling, plating, milling, and cutting. If these are the different processes which are grouped into one particular criteria, then it may require each and every job may require special set of activities here. Need not to follow all these operations. Some product may follow assembling, drilling, plating, milling, cutting activities, whereas some may follow only assembling, plating and milling. Some may follow milling, cutting and plating, drilling. So, which means here the process plays a crucial role among the product, because it is very crucial to follow each process for every product. So, we have to decide depending upon the requirements of the customer which is to be followed to correct or to manufacture that particular product. That is why it is the best example for job shop production systems. So, next one is mixed or combined layout. The next category is mixed or combined layout. So, any business organization may not follow either completely product layout or completely process layout, because the combination of these two may followed by the some of the organizations, because these both are mutually exclusive. If we combine these layouts to some extent, we may get the benefits of that particular layout. So, that type of layout is called as mixed or combined layout. The example for mixed and combined layout is nothing but DMARTs. Of course, DMART is looking like it is a process layout. It is a process layout, but we are using some material path and some rollers to carry the materials from storeroom to different places. So, it is nothing but both the combination of product and process layouts. That is why we call it as a mixed or combined layout. And next one is static and fixed layout. Okay, as we know that production process is converting inputs into output. So, it is a process. In this process, all the factors of production like man, material, machinery is need to move in different formats. Okay, here in some of the organization, the flow of factors is not necessary. For example, in the manufacturing organization, the plant is installed at some place, but the raw materials are keeps on moving by using that plant. Here the plant is in the static position, which means that it is in the fixed position. Okay, here what happens in some of the products where the product is high value, which means very expensive, and the product we are manufacturing is huge in weight, at that kind of product we have to move all the resources to a particular product. For example, if we are manufacturing a ship or we are manufacturing a bridge in particular area, all the resources may go through that particular area and they do the activities. After completion of the product, they may move away. Here, the product seems to be static condition. Depending upon these characteristics, that type of layout is called as static or fixed layout. Okay, so the example is ship manufacturing. Ship manufacturing. Okay, next one, cellular layouts. It is nothing but the combination of function and linear layouts. In cellular layouts, what happens is similar characteristics missions are grouped under cells. Okay, so which means all those missions are combined as a family. We identify them as a cells. We identify them as a cells. So this layout is called as cellular layouts. And next one is job shop layout, in which, as we know, the production process of job shop production process. If the organization is following job shop production process, then it follows the job shop layout. Okay, so it is another type of layout, Okay, so by analyzing these different categories of plant layout, we can observe that each and every layout have some defining characteristics. In the product layout, the missions follow the sequential route, right? Which means already I told you in the example, from mission 1 to mission 2, from mission 2 to mission 3. But here what happens, if there is any disturbance in mission 2, the entire plant may not sit idle because they cannot start the production operations. Right? So, it is the disadvantages regarding product layout. But proper maintenance management has to take care to avoid these problems. Okay, and process layout. Process layout has that which gives a multi-variety of products with low value. That type of organization follows the process layout. So, these are the different kinds of layouts of the plant. Okay, thank you.